This is eCommerce Uncensored. Brought to you by Fast Forward Unlimited. We're coming to you fully loaded and exposed with all the strategies and techniques for growing your e-commerce business.
Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us in another episode of eCommerce Uncensored. This is episode number 112. My name is Kevin Manel, and I'm here with
Jason Caruso
and Paul Chu.
We got everything worked out, Jason?
I think we got everything worked out.
This is going to bother me because I can't. It's in the corner of my eye, and it's not moving the way it should. I'm going to think it's screwed up.
Oh, well, you
can't see the levels.
You're getting ridiculous now.
Oh, I got to. And I'm just thinking about how I'm going to have to look at that annoying orange color behind you one day eventually.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be bright.
So We're painting the office here.
Well, we've rebranded Fast Forward to an orange, nice orange color, and we just got our cards in, and the next thing we're doing is the wall. We have this one wall.
Jason wants to use this really bright orange that's ugly.
First of all, it's really not that bright. Let's get
bright.
Stop getting ridiculous.
It's pretty bright.
It is pretty bright.
It's not that bright. Anyway, moving along. So today I think we have a pretty interesting episode, and I think those of you who are running paid advertising, I think this is going to be really helpful for you guys, and that is to decide whether or not or what the difference is, right? Is that what it was? Like the difference between like running ads on Google and running ads on Facebook or Instagram or social media, right? And, you know, we have the unique luxury of working with a lot of different brands that do a lot of different things. And some of them are like heavy on social, others are heavy on Google. And, you know, there's really no right answer. It just depends on your niche, your niche,
your goals, really, what you're trying to do.
Well, I also think it depends on the search, like how much search there is for the particular product. Like, you know, social has really opened up a whole nother, right? In the old days, like Google is like you can only like get your ad in front of people who are looking for your service or your product. That's all changed with social. And it's really interesting because the strategies are different for both.
Yeah, you can essentially have a billboard following people around on their when they're on Facebook or Instagram all day long.
Right, exactly.
Cool.
But before we get started,
Go ahead. You're first. What are you going to talk about, Jason?
I'm going to talk about our favorite email marketing / relationship building platform.
You know, and I'm slightly annoyed. Let me tell you why.
Uh-oh.
Because I let you in Klaviyo. That was the first problem.
What? I'm not going to talk about Klaviyo,
okay.
like the fact that I'm in Klaviyo. I'm annoyed at somebody who gave us a review on iTunes.
Who cares?
I'm extremely annoyed by this person.
Maybe he doesn't like you. I'd give you a bad review too.
Yeah, because the people are calling me curmudgeonly and stuff like that. I'm the person.
He said he especially likes the curmudgeonly fella. That's what he said.
The curmudgeonly fella.
That's his exact words. Really love the show and the banter, especially from the curmudgeonly fella.
And curmudgeonly is a very negative thing to say about somebody.
That he likes.
Curmudgeonly has never been said so many times.
Somebody wrote a review on our iTunes and said that we might as well be called the Klaviyo Show because we talk about Klaviyo way too much. Yeah, and it's obviously someone who really doesn't listen to us that much.
No, we talk about Klaviyo a lot, but it's because we make money with it. And if you're listening to the podcast,
it's like you're never going to get away for these people that like you have to feel bad about making money for something. You're never going to get away from these
You're
people.
just too sensitive. I could care less.
No, I'm not going to say that I do feel bad. I'm going to say people who are going to try to make you feel bad about making money.
Well, yeah, he's just jealous.
He's just jealous. I mean, he's being a baby. I mean, like we wouldn't be doing it if it didn't make sense for our audience. Like it's not like we're not getting anything out of the fact whether 100 people sign up for Klaviyo or whether we get one. I mean, we just have a contract with them that we mention their podcast, and we were mentioning it before
their platform.
Sorry, their platform. We were mentioning it before they were even sponsoring the. I mean, we really
we use them for most of our clients,
and it's really not even about just the sponsorship. It's about like the fact that we really use this stuff and we really make money from it.
A lot of money.
And to be really truthful about it, we got contacted by another competitor of Klaviyo that wants to sign us as well, and we're like, how would we ever do that?
Right.
Even if they did want to pay us like a ton of money, how would we move from this to this other company when we love Klaviyo so much?
And we've been recommending it.
Right.
I mean, so it's a tough thing. I mean, because, But anyway.
But Klaviyo.
If you want to make more money, and you know what? It's funny because we'll be talking about this today. Email's a channel where it's probably the most profitable channel there is. Go to eCommerceUncensored.com/Klaviyo. You can sign up for an account. No, that's wrong. Email. Sorry. eCommerceUncensored.com/email. That will redirect you to Klaviyo, and you can sign up for a free account.
Yeah, and when we talk about these paid advertising things, the Google or the Facebook, you always want to have the right email platform in place before you go and start spending a ton of money on advertising. So when they get there and you get a customer, you have someone buy from you, you can put them into a sequence, a flow, into a program like Klaviyo.
And they just actually rolled out this new feature where you can actually group people by the stage that they're in, their buying stage, which that was one thing they didn't have. They weren't able to do. They did this predictive analysis that told you when people were going to buy, but they had no way to group them. But there's a new feature now that you can group them.
Oh, I'm in Klaviyo now.
Yeah.
I'm in there.
And there's one other thing I want to talk about before we...
In our Facebook group.
Well...
Okay.
Yes, our Facebook group. But there's something else. Something that I'm really excited about. So I would say some months are more hectic than others, but we get people reaching out to us all the time about our fees to work with us. And 95 to 99% of those people, after we give them pricing, we never hear from them again. It's just a fact, right? Like, we're funny because one of our bigger clients that we're working with found us through the podcast, and he's like, "You guys were not weren't the cheapest. We thought we were going to be the cheapest. So like, you were the most expensive," and he still went with us. So we appreciate that, but we get people all the time reaching out to us, asking us for our help, and then we give them pricing, and we never hear from them again.
We don't even know how to respond to them. We always have the conversation, be like, we get the contact form from our website. We kind of look at each other and we're like, well, how do we, it's usually somebody just starting out.
Yeah.
And we're like, we know where you're at as far as budget goes when you first start out. So it's like we want to help as many people as we can. So it's a hard conversation to have when you be like, I don't know that you can afford us necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like, I don't want, that sounds bad, Kevin.
It does sound bad.
It's not that.
Bad.
It's just that.
But that's why I don't want to, I don't know how to say that. Yeah. Right. I know I just said it into the microphone, but.
So the fact is that we give them pricing, we never hear from them again. And we kind of feel a little weird about that because we do want to help everybody. I mean, it's just partly why we're doing this, obviously. So just 2 days ago, we decided that we're going to be doing an e-commerce course. It's one thing to listen to what we're talking about and to put the stuff in like action. It's another thing to actually see every little detail. So what we're going to do is if you go to eCommerceUncensored.com/learn, you'll get redirected to a landing page that is going to give you all the information. We're going to do some early bird pricing. I can tell you right now that our average client is paying us roughly about $5,000 or $5,500 a month. We're going to be creating a course that literally allows you to get the same information that we're giving these people for literally a fraction of the cost. We're going to have a early bird sign up. So if you go again to eCommerceUncensored.com/learn, you can get all the details and you can see how much it's going to be we're going to limit it. I don't know if we did 20 people or 50 people. We're going to limit it though, so that we can kind of do, I want to do a pilot group of people that we're going to work really closely with. But we're going to limit that. So if this is something that you want to do, maybe you can't afford $5,000 or $5,500 a month, go to eCommerceUncensored.com/learn and you'll see we're going to create a nice little course. It's going to be, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too.
Yeah, so am I.
We've been talking about it for a while.
We have been, but yeah. So anyway, okay. That was a long-winded intro, but some things had to be said. Now, let's talk about the differences between Google advertising or search advertising and social media advertising, right? We get people asking us all the time what they should do, where they should put their budget, how they should spend their money. And it's an interesting question, but I think it depends, number one, on your product, right? Like, in the old days when we were just talking about this, when you market on Google, you're kind of limited to the amount of, search volume that there is. So, in other words, if there are 10,000 people a month looking for sneakers, there was no other way to get 10,001 people to search. It was always 10,000 people. And you had to fight with everybody else for those 10,000 people. Social media, on the other hand, has billions of people on the platforms, and they're not necessarily looking for the product, but there are eyeballs.
I think it's just like I think the main thing to think about it is like it's a completely different relationship to have with a possible customer.
Well, it's a different starting point.
It's a different starting point, but I think about it. I try to compare it to, because like I make an analogy of like Facebook as like a party, right? Like if you went up to a person and you met somebody for the first time and you were just like, hey, you want to buy my cell phone case? And the guy's going to look at it like you have 4 heads. Like, what are you talking about? But if someone at the party came up to you and said, hey, do you have any cell phones cases for sale? That's like the Google side of things.
Right. Google, people on Google are actually they're doing 2 things, either buying or trying to find information, right? So like they're a little bit farther down the buying funnel or cycle, which could theoretically make it easier to sell to them. However, number one, that's going to be a lot more expensive to do because there's going to be a lot of people competing for that low-hanging fruit.
And people are shopping. It's not like they're going to go the first stop that they see, they're going to buy.
Yeah. The problem is that, like I said, there's no way to really scale that. Like you can open up your keywords, your targeted keywords to broader keywords, but it's going to cost you a little bit more money to acquire a customer that way, right? I'm not saying that search is bad. Like that search, Google advertising is bad. I think it's just different. It just depends on what you're looking to do. If you're looking to scale, it may be a little trickier because you're going to have to do some keyword research. You're going to try to find some other longer tail keywords, maybe like instead of 1-word phrases or 2-word phrases, maybe you're going to look for phrases that are 3 phrases long, like something like where to buy Nike shoes in New Jersey.
Yeah, and I think that's the the behavior of a lot of people now. It's like it used to be you could put in 2-word phrases and you'd be okay. But now there's so much information out there that people are actually searching for exactly what they want. I want blue shoes with yellow shoelaces and they're Nike, and I want them to go with my blue jeans.
Right.
Like people are searching that way. It's pretty crazy. So it's really
that's because Google's getting smarter.
Tricky, yeah.
Google's putting these sentences together and then giving you searches according to those sentences,
which is really cool. Which is kind of like a relatively new feature that you can kind of use your entire website content to create ads in Google. So it'll take like a blog post that you have, or it'll take like maybe a product page or an informational page that you have on your site, and it'll automatically dynamically create these ads for you, which I thought was really cool too, because you can run Google ads for information as well.
You can. I mean, typically, I always, if you're just starting out or you're just new, I always say it's going to be very difficult to have enough money to run on the Google network, because Google is going to, they have a lot of different ways they can put your ad out there, right? Like display and text ads and search ads, and they're going to spend your money.
Yeah.
And if you're not crystal clear and you don't have your funnel in like converting, you're going to spend your money really quickly. Where social media ads, even though people are not looking quote unquote like searching or buying or, shopping on social media, it tends to be a little bit cheaper because you can use other like types of ads. Like, for example, you can use like blog posts to grab people's interest and then, have your product solve the problem of the blog post. You can try to get email addresses and then sell to them using an email platform like Klaviyo. There's a lot of different ways you can do that on social media, and there's a lot more people potentially that you can target, right? And it's easier to scale on social because it's not people looking for something.
Would you say that in a general way it's smarter to start with social, especially if someone's starting out because they don't have that much money, just to get more of a brand awareness and then move to Google once like you said, your systems are in place and you have some product sales going already? Is that maybe a general rule some people could try to implement?
I think it's definitely smart. And one other thing is like the nice thing about social is like Facebook isn't the only place where your customers are at. So like if you have a younger audience, Instagram,
that's where they are,
right? If you're selling to predominantly women, Pinterest. Mm-hmm. If you're selling to an older crowd, it's Facebook, right? Like these people kind of tend to hang out on these different platforms. And you really like if let's say you're selling a female product, literally you can sell to every single person on Pinterest.
Right.
Whereas on Google, you don't know if it's a male or a female or really their age. I mean, I guess you can target those things, but I don't think it's as right. Kevin would know better than me.
I think that you should really use both of them together, to be honest with you. I mean, you could start with social to build an audience, like we always say. And then you can use Google to retarget those people because you've already pinpointed that they're interested in a topic. So you can retarget them with your text ads that you have for your product. So you can be kind of broader in the sense of your keywords because they're already interested in you. You can retarget to them with the Google image displays that will display your ads on other people's websites across the bottom.
But you're going to need some money to do this.
Yeah, you're going to need, this is part of your funnel. But also do it the opposite way. You run your text ads to cold traffic and people are shopping around.
It's your text ads on Google.
What did I say?
No, you just didn't specify Google.
Text ads on Google to a direct sales page. People are shopping. You're going to get a low conversion rate at first glance on a Google ad. Then retarget them on all the other social channels with even just information to bring them back.
If you get someone to engage or view your social media ad, how do you retarget them on Google and know that you're actually getting them?
Well, you would set up your Google ad account, and they would give you it's called a Google Audience remarketing tag, and you put that tag. It's like the Facebook pixel, but you put it. Okay. It's a little different script that you put on your website or any page that you want to track, and then you can build out audiences in Google just like as you would do in Facebook.
Yeah. So let's say you have an ad on Facebook, you send traffic to this page. You're not sending any Google traffic there. You're just sending Facebook traffic there. Google's pixel, quote unquote pixel, will be on their script, will be on that page. You'll say, Google, anybody that comes to this page, put them in this audience. And then you can do like cross-channel retargeting. Like you could retarget on Facebook, you could retarget on Google, you could retarget on any of the platforms once you have their code on those pages.
And the YouTube ads, too, can happen within the Google Ads platform. And you could do the same kind of... Just imagine if you're on Facebook, you click over to a blog post about a topic, then you go over to YouTube and you see a video of that company. Then you go on on whatever, Fox News or whatever website, and you got a banner ad. It's like all, like, everyone's so, like, amazed. They're like, oh, I went to look at these pair of shoes, and now I can't not see them when I go. And that's how they're doing it. They're cross-channel marketing to you.
Yeah, and it's not that hard. It's actually pretty easy. And so I think, like, whether you're just getting started or you are running ads already, I think, we've been talking about this a lot here. Like, I think you have to figure out exactly what you're trying to do. You would think that people who are searching on Google for a product would be an easier sell. It's not always true because the cost, because of the competition, is going to be so much higher. So like a click on Google can cost $40 for a click, depending on the niche, the niche you're in. That same niche or niche on Facebook, I can probably get clicks for 20 cents.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed the display, the retargeting display ads on Google. Right, you're just staring off into space for a second. So the display ads, like we create these banners, those you get people really cheap back to your website, and YouTube has been really cheap as well.
Yeah.
So we always say, a person has to see you 7, 10, 15 times, where you're like, oh, well, how do I do that if I'm just using Facebook? Do I have to just keep serving up ads to them over and over again? No. You get them there through Facebook, or you get them through another channel as initial glance, and then you retarget them with other social platforms.
Yeah, and then you can send them emails. I mean, you can get them, try to get them into your email funnels. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do that. But I personally found, all the years I've been doing this since Facebook has launched their ad platform, I personally found if you're on a limited budget and you're selling to customers, Facebook is the easiest and the cheapest.
So when you say customers, you mean as opposed to like B2B, right?
Yeah, if you're selling B2B, I mean, it's a little harder on Facebook. I mean, you could do it, but it's a little harder. But social media I found to be much cheaper. You can get results.
Even B2B too, it's like we get it a lot. It may be a little bit more difficult on social media for B2B companies and maybe a little bit more expensive on social, but there's still a place for it, and you're still speaking to a person. And I think that's the biggest thing that we run into. Like, well, I'm a B2B company. There's no way Facebook's going to work for me. Well, who the hell is the CEO? Is he an ape? Like, what? He's on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, and then that's the thing. Like, B2B is our people. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a weird analogy, but
why? Yeah, I mean, pretty soon gorillas will be on Facebook too. So who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think there is a place for both. I think that, people that are on those two platforms their intentions are definitely different, but you can get in front of a lot more people on Facebook, on social media, Instagram, than you could on Google. And I'm not, again, I don't want to sound like I'm leaning towards the Facebook thing, but I think if you're on a limited budget, Facebook's the way to go.
I think there's something to be said about instant gratification too. Like I remember I heard Albert talking this afternoon about millennials and how they have this instant gratification that it halts their progress. Google, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get
instant gratification.
Yeah. Like Facebook, you'll see people engaging with your posts. You'll see people clicking over a lot of them. You'll see people watching your videos. On Google, it's a much harder road.
No, you'll
much
see
longer road.
Yeah, you'll see your money disappear, and you won't really see much going on. That's the.
Yeah. So
that's the
I
tricky
agree
part.
with you. I think it's a really good place to start, but I would use them all together if you can.
Yeah, I mean, if you can afford it, definitely. But yeah, I mean, I hope that Paul, you not knowing much about either platform, did that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
That didn't sound very convincing.
Yeah.
Well, I know that my questions the answers are open ended. Like I want to ask specific.
So good.
Like does either one, social or Google, cater more towards, or is it more beneficial towards someone who's maybe more focused on brand, on growing their brand as opposed to just selling product? Because obviously everyone wants to make sales, but if you also want to somehow just get brand awareness, where then people won't Google search you anymore, or they won't have to find you on Instagram. Now they'll go to your website because they want blue shoes. They're like, I know my go-to for the apparel for that product.
Yeah, I mean, and that's also a good point. I mean, there's a lot of times I see brands on Facebook or on Instagram, and then I go search them on Google, right? So there's also a little bit of that too, like getting the brand awareness out there. And I think, as social starts, people start getting smarter about social media marketing. I think because I'm seeing a lot, like there was always like this focus on ROI. Right, and Gary Vee talks a lot about this. It's like, what's the ROI of holding a door open for an old lady? He's like, there is none, but it's just a nice thing to do, It's the same kind of thing. Like with social media, like you're getting your brand out there. You may not see an ROI right there, right? But they may go look for you on Google when it's time for them to buy. I do that all the time. Like I'll see like a really cool ad. Like I did it for this phone case. I saw it on Facebook and I just couldn't remember, so I typed in Google like whatever, like battery case or whatever, and it came up.
Well, I think that's a good point, especially if you're first starting up and you're just launching a website, and you have maybe a brand that you're publicizing on social media that somebody may remember. Run a little ad on Google Ads for just your brand name. Make sure that your brand comes up when someone searches it. I even do that with our clients that have an organic listing. I just want to make sure that they're up top, because some people don't click in Google Ads. They automatically skip them, and some people are more willing to. And like, you want to make sure you're on the top and like you're at the first organic.
I always skip the ads because
Me too.
I want to go to what I want, not what they want to show me.
Yeah.
So I'm always skipping the ad.
Even if it's the same company. Like
Oh,
if
yeah,
you
no.
search for PlayStation
absolutely.
View and then there's their ad, I click on the organic one. I'm
Yeah.
I'm fucked.
Although I should to charge them.
I'm messed up though. That's the thing. Like with me, I'm like, oh, I don't want to charge them for my click. I'll just scroll down a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
'cause
I'm
you know how
weird
it
like
works.
that.
I do the same thing, and I do it with like stupid brands like Amazon. Like they can afford my freaking click, But it's just like I'm saying, like I know I'm not going there for what they're trying. Like let me just go.
Exactly.
It's just I'm the same exact way. It's funny, but yeah, I mean, you asked a question before about like should you bid for your competitors' names? So
Well,
like,
yeah, right before we started recording, I mentioned to you guys that I looked up that PlayStation View, and DirecTV came up as the first paid Google ad. So I was just wondering from you guys if that's smart to do or even a common thing to do, because I was kind of caught off guard and was wondering if it was like a mistake.
No, a lot of people do that. Even like our clients will ask us to do that. We tend to shy away from it because of the whole intent thing. Like, for example, if I'm intending on looking for Nike and Adidas ad comes up, my intent is not Adidas. I may click on it, but I'm just going to pay for the click. And I mean, I'm going to just go right back to the Nike. Like that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for Adidas, right? So for me, and I never liked doing that. I never, most of the brands I've worked with had a budget. There are brands out there that don't really have small budget. Like they have huge budgets where like they have to spend the money, right? And when you have to spend the money, you just take your chances. I've never seen much success with that. I don't know if Kevin has, but
Yeah, I mean, I think for the big brands, it's probably for just, it's like Coke and Pepsi commercials. Like Coke and Pepsi always wants to have their commercials on TV during the Super Bowl. It's kind of like you always want to have your company and when you have those big brands like Nike and Adidas like that, like they always want to make sure that they're in clear sight when you're searching for something. It's almost like a subliminal thing that they need to make sure. But when you're looking for more specific things, like we had a client that asked us yesterday if they should do it. I'm like, they're looking for a very specific thing when they type in that keyword, and we're just like throwing money out. I get to want to have the exposure, but in some cases I think it's just a waste of money.
And for us, it's tough because we're trying to get our clients ROI, like return. Now it's like it's ROAS now, ROAS, return on ad spend. That's the new thing, ROAS. So, like when we're trying to do that, it's like if they ask us to put their ad, like for their competitors, and they're like, I just want to be there. They're not going to give us any leeway at the end of the month when they're like, well, why am I spending so much money? Well, you asked us to put it in front of people that I know aren't looking for your brand. Yeah. They don't want to hear it. But I think that's it. I mean, I don't really know how much else we could talk about this. I mean, it just I think if you can afford both, I would definitely, cross promote on whether it's retargeting or doing both. It depends on your niche, depends on your keywords, it depends on how many people are searching for you. I mean, if you have a new product that nobody knows about, nobody's going to be searching about it on Google. So it doesn't make any sense to go there, right? Do social media. If you have product that people know about, then maybe you try Google.
Yeah.
I don't think in anything we ever talk about there's a one size fits all. I think it kind of like just depends on what you're doing, what you're selling, and the kind of money you have.
Sounds good.
Don't forget, guys, eCommerceUncensored.com/learn. if you want to get on the early bird special of our new course that we're launching, the landing page will have all the information on it.
I look forward to talking more about like this kind of stuff too. Like I get to the point sometimes when we sit down and we talk about specific things, like wanting to walk people through specifically, like you asked how to retarget. Like I want to go into detail, and I think this course is going to be able to. This course is
going to do that. So just to be transparent, the course is not made yet, and it's gonna depend on how many people actually sign up, and that'll all be on the page. You guys will see that. So ecommerceuncensored.com/learn, and if you need, I think you need an e-commerce email platform that builds relationships, ecommerceuncensored.com/email
to get Klaviyo.
And ecommerceuncensored.com/Facebook.
There we go.
To join our group.
So join Klaviyo, and then join our Facebook group.
Exactly. And then go to learn.
Albert would like me to tell you about our Facebook videos that we record all of our episodes on video, and we post them to Facebook and other things. So check out our Facebook page and YouTube. Put them
I
on
thought
YouTube.
You were signaling that the video went out.
That's what I was assuming. Like,
I just shrugged my shoulders at him. I'm like, okay.
So, and you check us out on Instagram, and we're doing a whole lot of new things on Instagram.
Yeah,
I know that's a lot.
IG.
We just told you to do a whole lot of shit. So,
yeah.
Do at least one of them.
No, do 2 of them.
Okay.
Do Klaviyo and do Learn.
Do all of them.
All right, do all of them.
Bunch of slackers.
Thank you guys so much for tuning. This has been episode 112. And as always, you can check us out at ecommerceuncensored.com. We'll talk to you guys real soon.
Later.
See ya.